making a video. So again, with the Hythloday saying it's his last video, blah 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 blah. Just compulsively lies through the whole video. I mean, it's just it's a masterpiece of just preposterous, silly, insane lies regarding the context of this conversation. I would never have to have a conversation about the fact that it's not infinitely better, for someone else to have suffering than me. Never even occurred to me that I'd have to even have that conversation, except for these idiots saying the themness of the condition means somehow they don't have to be worried about it. Like, I don't feel their pain, so isn't their pain irrelevant because I don't feel it? Yeah, it's really that stupid, right? They have this philosophy that says the only way I can know something is bad is I have to feel the bad myself. I can't recognize it any other way. And the bad isn't really bad, it's neutral. So yeah, so it doesn't require any action. Just like nothing, that's exactly how we react to bad. It's just like nothing. So no problem for them. Alright, but we know the evolution of this conversation is just exactly that point, right? There's been 2 points that have been a problem for Hythloday. He'll agree to one of them, and then he brings up the other. And then when he concedes the other, he'll just bring up the other one. So he just keeps switching back and forth between his 2 problems with reality. The first being the idea of an actual bad thing, even though he sees the ought, right, the is-ought gap, he sees it when it's his own suffering on the line. He somehow can't see it when somebody else's suffering's on the line. And really, that's just so obvious, right, that we all know why that is. It's because when you personally feel it, you can't miss it, right? Because it's connected right to the exact experience. It's part of the experience. Oh, this is no good. We ought not do this. I mean, that's what pain says to you. That's what unpleasant sensations say to you. But you can certainly understand that when the unpleasant sensation is taking place in some other brain, their brain is saying exactly those things. I don't want to do this. I'd rather go to Disneyland, our world. Or I'd rather have the shit kicked out of me on a dark alley than, go through a cancer treatment or something. I mean, these are obvious things. And he's the one providing all of this problem that I had to have any of this discussion about the idea that, yes, we can recognize suffering in other people by identifying symbols, and that the suffering itself is the same as the suffering we experience. And clearly we can see the ought when it's our experience. And we clearly can understand, I get it, the ought is still there. It's just that it's not holding me by the nuts. It's holding me by understanding. So only understanding will allow me to do something about it. I won't be compelled by actual provocative suffering. In other words, you don't have to feel their pain to recognize their pain. That's all. Not complicated. So anyway, so this whole conversation provoked by him. Not my initiative. I had no idea I would have to even have a conversation with something called a nihilist. The very concept seems totally insane to me, that I'd even have to have a conversation with somebody about the reality of good and bad, and the fact that they're reciprocal, and that bad is an actual negative, not a zero. They keep wanting to say bad isn't a negative. No, it's a zero. Do you think bad is zero? Do you think people think hell is zero? I don't think they do. So anyway, this is not something where there's any kind of... He's talking as if he's on the side of the average human, has some sort of perception where they have a hard time figuring out that actual bad things happen in the world. And that's just a crock of shit. He's the one with the exceptionally bizarre perspective, and he's the one that has to have some sort of evidence to back up his exceptionally bizarre perspective. And his only evidence is, I can't prove that material things can create value engines. That the universe could actually create something called the negative. So it's beyond the universe's capacity. Even though we've experiencing it, even though I've personally experienced it, he's going to tell me it's not happening. That the negative sensations are actually nothing, zero. That I might as well be tortured as have a cupcake. That's his philosophy. And I don't think any sentient creature with any kind of cognitive rational abilities would sign up for his universe. Oh, let's go give that a try. I don't see anybody volunteering to give that a try. Let's prove it. So why don't you just torture yourself? Let's see if it's the truth. You know, I mean, just such crap. Absolute crap. So this entire argument provoked by him, by his denial of two facts. First, the existence of negative that actually isn't zero or nothing. And then his argument that somehow, depending on where suffering is, that somehow it's different. That the suffering is different. Not the motivation, the suffering. I'll concede the motivation is different. We're selfish animals. We have personal feelings. Those feelings seem louder. But that's just a seem. It's an appearance of importance. It isn't real importance. And we can intellectually know that the exact pain and suffering I experience can be experienced in the other brain, and that there's no advantage and no accomplishment, no gain whatsoever to transfer my pain into some other sentient being. That is not productive behavior. And likewise, it's not sensible or logical behavior to pretend that because you're not experiencing suffering that somebody else is, that it doesn't happen or it's not happening. It is happening just as if you were experiencing it. It's just as real, and if you're causing it, you've got to account for it. Wow. So anyway, and so now he's just going to lie, and he's going to use the argument from idiotic movie clips, apparently. So, you know, I guess it's a free movie anyway. But who cares?
Listen to me. These people are dangerous.
So apparently,
we need to get off this roof now.
Creepy Scarface guy is somehow important. Yeah, and he's being led through some virtual experience, and he's got to make some sort of choice, like the red pill or the blue pill or some kind of bullshit, I don't know. And he can't be fooled by this fake character who's trying to keep him in the fake world. Shit like that.
We're now on pause, and you're about to return to your lucid dream.
You're on pause. You're about to return to your lucid dream. I'm the faggoty bullshitter who just sits there and makes up crap and guides you through your fake experience. Whatever. This movie looks like real suck. I can't believe how old he looks. He looks like an old woman. Fucking looks like Bruce Jenner, for fuck's sake. God, he used to be like, what the hell was he? Undead Soldier or whatever the fuck it was.
With all the upgrades, to face your last remaining fear of heights.
Oh dear, you're a terrible pussy.
David, don't listen.
Creepy.
You
pussy.
were right. This is the
Creepy.
Seven Dwarfs. It's a setup.
Yes.
You can't trust him.
Blah 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 blah.
Don't feel bad for him, Dave.
God, I think I'd hate this
This
movie.
winning man is your creation, and it's in his nature to fight for his existence.
Oh, I hate this movie. I would hate it. I would hate it. I would hate it.
I'm real.
I'm real.
I have 2 daughters.
I have 2 daughters. You know that. Yes, I have 2
What are their
daughters.
names?
Oh, so right. The fake program doesn't know the names of his daughters. Oh, yeah, sure it doesn't. Jump, crooked face guy. Yeah, I mean, you're totally unfuckable. So yeah, just jump.
I'm real. I'm mortality as home entertainment. This cannot be the future.
Mortality as home entertainment. This cannot be the future. I don't know what it is. Yeah, it does seem all kind of draggy to me. This doesn't look like fucking goddamn Bo Derek on a fucking hammock. So yeah, they really fucked up virtual reality. Wrong program, man. Wrong program.
I don't get it.
I don't know what the fuck this has to do with me. Oh, that's right. Not a goddamn fucking thing. That's right. That's nothing to do with me whatsoever.
Remember, on the one hand, when he talks about neurology and, you know,
I don't really talk about neurology. What I do is I talk about the basic mechanisms of the function of our consciousness in basically metaphorical or analogistic kind of ways, just to get the idea of how this evolution would construct this mechanism and how it would create the idea of injecting this idea of value.
free will, perhaps, and
Well, no, I never made any argument for anything called a free will. Never have, never will. There's no such thing. It's just a pile of shit. Fuck you.
workings of the brain. He talks about consciousness just being this artifact, this noise, this...
Yes, subconscious, big, consciousness, nothing. That's right. See, so he's using these little dangerous, little faggoty gestures to sit there and dismiss it as if I'm dismissing consciousness. No, what I'm saying is the real action is in the subconscious, and the consciousness, although incredibly fucking 3D vibro chair intense, it can't do anything. It's not a doer. It's a witness. So again, lie some more about my position. I'm not diminishing consciousness as an experience. I'm diminishing it as an actor. Consciousness doesn't act. Programs in the subconscious act. One set of programs creates the reality with value enhancement. The other programs react to the value enhanced, pain and suffering enhanced view of reality. There you go, fuckface. You can't be honest to that simple description, you fucking goddamn lying weasel? Not that difficult. But for a compulsive liar, impossible. You're looking more and more like a chimpanzee every fucking goddamn day, slack-jaw ignoramus. Faggoty one, of course.
Cinema projector and all this. And on the other hand, he reminds me of the...
Well, the other hand wouldn't be a remind you of thing. That would be actually pointing out how I did something different or hypocritical or duplicitous, which I did not, fuckface. So crap in your imagination really doesn't have shit to do with what I've actually said or done, jackass.
Father figure, psychologist in vanilla scans.
Well, who the fuck cares?
You know, where he's I'm real, I'm important, I can tell I'm important.
Yeah, whatever, go ahead, show me the video where I did that. Go ahead, show me the video where I said I'm important. Go ahead, show me. Except the physics videos where I'm just kind of pointing out that, yeah, I actually did the Einstein's whole life mission thing. Yeah. But, you know, again, this is an actual argument. You have a video of me somewhere saying I'm important. Liar, 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 liar. You're the one saying you're important. You're more important than the beasties you torture. Liar. Monkey man.
So I have
Monkey, I'm a monkey, cheddar, monkey. Yeah, looks just like a chimpanzee, doesn't he? Talking chimpanzee.
A lot of them now are redundant because of this, what I perceive as a move on in the...
Yeah, what I see is a move on, and preposterous lie. He just hasn't answered my points in counter-argument to any of that. He just keeps playing it like, hey, no, you haven't answered it. There's no moving on. I can just replay the clips from 6 months ago. I can replay the clips from 3 months ago. I haven't changed anything whatsoever, you lying piece of pus.
You always perceive things as something like that because you're such a fucking little weaselly cunt. I mean, I'm sorry you can't figure this out, but I've been saying the same thing since the very fucking beginning. All I've been saying is that I personally have good and bad experiences. Yes, and bad is actually bad, not good or something, or not purgatory, or not neutral. Bad is bad. Bad isn't nothing. Bad is something.
So now we'll go to the Matrix clip, right? Now, this is another, this is a movie I did see, and I had no idea what this fucker was talking about. So I don't know if you got whatever this sequence in the fucking movie, because it just fucking flew right over the fuck my head. The program has a baby, and it's all emotional about it? Oh, please. The whole idea of creating these sentient programs, right? Like the whatever they were, the Mr. Smith kind of guys, are supposed to be sentient programs. What sense would it make to do that? If you're like the robot world, why would you make emotionally erratic programs? Sounds really stupid.
You do not understand. I just have never heard a program speak of love.
Yeah, well, that is just about as silly as one can get, right? I mean, it really is. I mean, it's just the silliest word in the vocabulary. What does love mean to you, buddy? Pushing your dick in and out of the vagina, is that love? Or is love, mommy wiped my ass just right and I just love her to death when I was a baby? Eh? What does this word mean to you? Nepotistic crap? Bigotry? Stupid fuck? I mean, really, what fucking use is this garbage word? It's a garbage word.
It is a human emotion. No, it is a...
No, it's not even that. Yeah, it's a word describing nothing. It's used for everything.
Word. What matters is the connection the word implies.
The connection it implies. What does it do? What connection does it imply, little sissy man? What? What are you talking about? Poofter? What the fuck are you talking about? Huh?
Okay.
Hythlodays' twitchy little anus. That's love. Oh, my little anus is twitching. I want a big, hard, black dick in my ass. Is that it right, Hythloday? I think so.
This is going to be my last in Manion.
Yeah. This is like so cliche. Like, wow, you just stepped in the biggest pile of cliche do you could possibly step in. You should already know better, douchebag, than not to say one of those stupid things again.
Yeah, promise. Cross my heart, hope to die.
Well, now we finally agree on something, because I certainly hope you die. Because you're a liar, a fucking scuzzy liar.
The philosophical superficiality.
Oh, the superficiality. Here's an asshole who says torture is nothing. And he's calling other people superficial. Here's an asshole who says, it's infinitely better if you suffer than me. Yeah, right. We're the superficial ones. Fuck you. I hope you get fucking run over by a little beastie stampede.
Of him is inability to grasp the linguistic...
Oh, right, the inability to grasp your linguistic maneuvering, where you basically say, bad isn't bad, it's nothing. Fuck you, I've experienced it, shit for brain.
Nuances that I'm trying to point out.
What nuances? Cholera really isn't all that bad. Bubonic plague isn't all that bad. What are you bitching about? No problem, really. It's a zero. What's wrong with a zero?
Resting your entire argument upon a definition that you...
No, I'm resting my argument on a rational definition of the idea that if bad is neutral, then the word is being misused. If anyone's using the word bad and they think it means zero, then they've missed what bad is. Yes, that's not an appropriate use of the word bad. You really can't use the word bad and then say bad is a 0. That's just bullshit. Absolute motherfucking bullshit. Well, there's heaven, which is plus, and then there's hell, which is 0. Oh, yes, it has torture in it, but torture's irrelevant. It doesn't mean anything. It doesn't really happen, so don't pay any attention to that. I wonder how many people would be willing to invest in your fantasy as reality if I gave them the option. Oh, I guess it'd be none.
Define, or a population even defines.
Oh, whatever, a population defined. So you're again saying that when people described hell, and then they described it as a bad place, they were really saying it's a 0. Treat it just like nothing. It's just like nothing. It's not, torture isn't something, torture is nothing. That's what they really were thinking. That's what they really think. We've all the real people have popularly described bad as 0. It's not a negative condition, it's a 0 condition. Treat it just like absolute nothing.
Seems to not understand the problem with that.
You don't seem to understand the problem with having a stupid word like bad and then saying it means the same as neutral. That's ludicrous.
In this video, he uses bad, negative, and the arts all interchangeably.
Yeah, duh. I mean, really, does this need to be explained to anybody? That negatives, and the idea that a negative would create an ought problem. If you don't get rid of the negative, it'll consume the positive value, right? So if you only have 2 in positive territory and you have 3 negative, that means you're in debt. Okay, and you go to debtor's prison then. That's bad. You're in a bad condition, a negative condition. Yeah, I think people can understand that.
And the other word, many times, interchangeably.
Yes, they're interchangeable concepts. Bad and negative are interchangeable concepts. Yes, they are. They're synonyms, essentially. Yes. That's a fact, retard.
He ignores the question about the distinctions, but which one, is the foundation.
Well, again, what's the distinctions? It doesn't matter. You're saying that it's ludicrous to define the word bad as something other than a neutral or a 0. So, I mean, why are you nitpicking about definitions when your definition is preposterously ludicrous?
One, he pauses on it and he talks about blah, 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 blah.
Yeah, I talk about the fact that there's no point in talking about something being bad and then saying, let's treat bad exactly like we treat nothing. So you have 6 million Jews in concentration camp, bad, and you have a melting ice cream cone. Now, one thing is nothing. There's no suffering of no real significance. The other thing is 6 million suffering consciousnesses. You say the 2 things are the same. There's nothing to see here. The torture is not a negative thing happening. It requires no oughting. It's nothing, no problem. 0 problem. I'm saying no, big problem. Sentient being suffering, no problem, ice cream melting.
He doesn't actually answer the question, then he could...
Liar, 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 liar. I've made every effort to answer any question you could possibly ask. I've played all of your videos all the way fucking goddamn through, you motherfucking lying cunt. Alright, I made every effort to try to resolve whatever problem it is you have. And clearly the problem is you're either going to say there's no such thing as bad, or you're going to play some idiotic game where you're going to say as long as it's a them, it's not in the universe. It doesn't count. I don't have to consider it as being a real consciousness having real experiences.
Drop one of those words, but like...
Drop why? Why would I drop the words that describe the word? I mean, it's just silly.
Like, like his supposed premises. In this video, he calls them propositions.
Yeah, what's the difference? I've called them statements of fact. I've called them contentions. I've called them propositions, proposals, theories. It doesn't really matter. Yes, they're all of those things. They're statements I argue are factually true. And I say those facts point. And what I'm saying is you haven't refuted any of those statements' integrity. You haven't pointed out in any way how any of those statements are irrational, are illogical, are inconsistent with evidence. You just keep lying as if you have, and you haven't, you liar.
You know, which is to acknowledge they need a proof, yeah?
Well, I'm just saying the proof would be in a counter-argument, jackass. Right? The only way you can disprove these kinds of statements, okay, just as I can't prove my personal experience, but what you could do is show evidence why my personal experience is suspect, or why it's inconsistent with all the other sentient creatures on Earth, or there's some evidence that it's not consistent with you superior fucking reptilians. Or autistic people have the superior perspective and we're totally insane. Whatever your theory is, but you have to have some sort of theory. Now all I've explained is that I personally experience sensations, and I goddamn know the difference between the best day of my life and the worst day of my life, and I know that difference is made of something called value. You fucking insane jackass. Liar.
Rather than a statement of fact. And then in the next minute, you'll call them definitions.
Right. No, it doesn't matter. Again, what is your counter theory? Your counter theory is that all of our sensations are nothing. That there is, in fact, no difference between the worst day of my life and the best day of my life. And, in fact, it wouldn't matter whether somebody perpetuated my existence in that worst state forever or in the best state forever. That those two, there's be no rational way to make a distinction between one being a correct action and one action being an incorrect action. By your silly, idiotic, inane, preposterous, nonsensical theory, it's okay to torture everyone forever, and it's just as good as anything else. You fucking insane fucktard. But just quit lying that you've made a counter-proposal that's somehow coherent. Where's the evidence for your theory that the sensate organism is a complete and utter non-reality? It's just a rock. We're not doing anything more significant in any value sense than a rock.
What else does he call? But he uses so many...
And yet, he can't resist getting Novocaine. He can't resist finding any way to feel more comfortable, putting his air conditioning on, doing all this stuff to satiate his comfort needs. He somehow can't control that impulse. Even though he knows it doesn't make any difference. He knows it doesn't make any difference. He knows it to be an absolute fact that there's no such thing as feeling good and feeling bad. It's all feeling nothing.
Words interchangeably and without consistency.
Liar, 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 liar. Prove it. Prove an inconsistency in my use. Prove it, or you're just a fucking liar. An evil, nasty, fat, monkey-looking liar.
And that the guy is impossible to talk.
No, you're impossible because you're a liar, a compulsive fucking liar.
And it's something decidedly negative, not something positive, something fucking negative. And then I've simply said that the other fucking organisms are doing exactly what I'm goddamn doing. And so if it's bad when it's happening to me, it's bad when it's happening to them.
Wow, so he didn't answer that, right? No, No answer. So he quote mines, he plays the clip, he doesn't answer it, he answers it with more fucking movie clips. I mean, fucking lame as fuck. Anyway, I'll be back. Real life to get to. Alright, back. 2 o'clock in the morning, shit. Anyway, alright, so we left off at movie clip. Yay! Let's see if I get my mouse to work. Can't get to work very well. See if this will play.
I reckon I must return to our world.
Why?
That is our karma.
It's his karma to return to his world.
Even karma?
Karma is a word. Like love.
Karma and love. Now, what's this have to do with me? Nothing. So, just typical Hythloday lying distractions.
A way of saying what I am here to do.
I rest my case.
I don't know. If that's an argument, you rest your case. What case? You haven't made an argument, and all you've done is slander people. You fucking liar.
In the one moment we're talking about something decidedly bad, and...
Yeah, and it's never been anything else but decidedly bad. You're the one who's denied that it's decidedly bad. You say that when it's over there, it's no longer decidedly bad. It's infinitely bad when it's happening to me. It's infinitely neutral when it's happening to somebody else. That's your logic, retard, and you haven't explained why that is.
Therefore we ought to do something about, and then the next minute it's decidedly negative.
You don't understand. Negative and bad are conceptually exactly the same thing, right, fucknut? And they have been from the very beginning. I've used the words interchangeably since the very beginning, so let's just lie some more and pretend you never heard of that before.
If you pressed either one of them, you'd find that the conclusion is rested upon the very definition of the word.
Okay, right, and nobody understands that negative is like a negative number. Nobody understands that negative is less than 0, not equal to 0. Negative numbers are not equal to 0. They're not nothing, they're something, and they're decidedly not positive or 0. Fuckhead.
Significant.
I mean, everybody knows that that's what bad is, right? Everybody knows hell isn't neutral.
Advancement.
Yeah, fuck you, okay? I mean, I said it as clear as I could say it. I said it in simple little propositions. I recognize the feelings as good as bad. I recognize that the other fucking organisms are just the same as me and they're having good and bad experiences. If I'm going to react to bad when it's happening to me, I have to react to bad when it's happening to them. Duh!
Okay, so let's see. Well, what kind of preposterous reaction we're going to get here?
Point is redundant.
Oh, the point is redundant. It's the point you keep denying. You keep going them, to them. You keep doing that bullshit. So don't keep sitting there, the point is redundant. That's just idiotic. Redundant how? You're the one claiming there's no ought. You're the one claiming there's no obligation when it's happening to somebody else. I think explained that the bad is exactly the same and the ought is understood. Yes, you will not feel the ought, but you can understand the ought.
If instances of bad mean you ought to go around protecting those bads,
well, that's not exactly a brilliantly articulate way to say it, but okay.
it adds nothing to the argument to say about, well, if I'm bothered about it.
I didn't want to add to this argument, you jackass. You're the one who insisted. You're the one who sit there and said plainly, why should I give a shit? What concern is it of mine? This is your fucking retorts, asshole. That you're the one who was arguing that somehow there's no reason to be bothered. Something is in pain, it's not my problem. That was your argument, jackass. you're such a liar.
But it's just a dumb argument.
Oh, yes. Now it's done. Right. So, but you don't agree with that as a fact, so why are you saying it's a done argument? You're still needing convincing that somehow a them is the same as a you stupid fuck, and the bad, the negative, is just as negative in their brain as it is in your brain, asshole. You're the one who keeps claiming there's a distinction that you're not explaining. Oh, I just can't believe the fucking... what level this liar will stoop to.
It's finished. The definition, there's a bad, I have to protect it. There's a bad, it's clear in the context of the definition. There's no need to appeal to the fact of, oh, if it's bad in me, if it's bad, yeah, because
you're the one who said it's infinitely better if the bad doesn't happen to you and happens to somebody else. These are your words, jackass. The counter-argument to that is what I have made, you fucking idiot.
You've said it's entailed in the definition. So why do you insist on emphasis of this an emphasis and discussion about the position of it and the...
Well, because quite obviously assholes like you say something stupid like, well, I don't feel like it's bad, so I don't feel any of their pain. And then I have to explain to you, well, no, you're not going to feel their pain. You're going to understand it conceptually. So just as you will conceptually understand their pain, you will conceptually understand the ought. So yes, you won't feel the pain. You won't sense the ought. That seems obvious when it's happening to you. When you're being tortured, you're certainly capable of saying, this ought not to be happening. And the reason why you don't say it when it's happening to somebody else is just logistics. It just has to do with the fact that, yeah, it's not in your face. It doesn't force you to pay attention. You have to use your capacity to reason, not only to see their pain, but to acknowledge it and acknowledge that if it was happening to you, there would be an ought tied to it. So the ought does exist. I just have to see it with my brain.
Discrimination. It's your argument has ended with bad means you have to go around collecting and saving bads. That's what it means.
Well, it does. What it doesn't mean is it's nothing. Bad isn't the same as nothing. So if you can agree with that, that you'll accept that bad isn't supposed to mean nothing, then yeah, we might have something to say, well, okay, now we've made progress, because at least you're not saying bad is nothing.
That is the philosophical depth of your insight, and it comes entirely from your head.
Well, whatever. I don't know what that means. I guess all insights come entirely from people's heads. So, yeah, it's either reasonable or unreasonable. I don't think you're making any argument explaining how this is unreasonable. Again, why don't you explain to all the Christians that are afraid of hell that there's no such thing, even conceptually, that the universe could never make hell, God could never make hell, God could never make God. So, well, whatever. You could just explain to them how it's all impossible that anything such as a bad could ever exist. Only neutrals can exist. So there's no reason to be afraid of hell, because it could only at worst be a neutral.
The bad is a definition, is a property of the thing itself. Okay, and then the rest of the equation is quite obviously, well, if there's bad here or there's bad there, are those two bads different? And the answer is no, they're not fucking goddamn different.
Now, I asked him specifically about the nature of two kinds of bad and what the extra ingredient that might make it prescriptive was, and he says there was no other.
Whatever, there's not two kinds of bad. I was just making the description of the fact that if bad is happening to me or bad is happening to somebody else, a sensation, it's not badder because it's me. It's not worse because it's me. It's not infinitely better if that's happening to them.
And once it's bad, and that's it, and it contains the prescriptive element, yeah, in the nature of the definition, blah, blah, blah. So there's no need to even compare whether they're two bads. It's bad, finished.
Well, you made the need. You're the one saying, I don't feel anything. I don't feel like it's bad when somebody else is suffering. You're the one saying, where's the ouch? How come I'm not ouching? How come I'm not oughting? And the only reason why you're not doing those things is because you're too stupid. You don't have enough imagination to be able to synthesize reality completely. You're pretending that somehow their pain is supposed to jump into your body and let you know there's an ought existing. But that's not how it works, retard. You have to understand it. You can't feel it. If a cow is getting jabbed by a cattle prod, I can't feel that happening, but I can understand that happening.
Why emphasis the need of the comparison?
Because you're a stupid fucking retard who insisted on me having to go through this fucking tedious nonsense, you fucking liar.
Sameness. It seems that there's been a subtle change of emphasis.
No change of emphasis. There's good, there's bad, now there's location, location's irrelevant. There, that's it, from the very beginning, nothing's changed.
Exactly, that's what I'm saying.
I don't understand it. What do you mean it's what you're saying? You're saying it's infinitely better if somebody else suffers than you. You're saying it matters to them. You're saying what's in it for me. Why should I give a rat's ass? Those are your fucking comments, asshole. And I've responded to them. And I think disposed of them.
Yeah, is that location is irrelevant in your philosophy. So why talk about the need to assess whether they're same?
You obliged me to. You kept saying, I don't feel their pain. So why should I care? That's what you kept saying, you stupid fuck. And so I responded to your stupid and vacuous ass forcing me to explain to you why you don't feel it, but it still exists. You dumb ass.
All you have to be able to do is assess whether it's bad by your criteria, which you define, which is it's suffering, the guy has repulsion, whatever, negativity, blah, blah, blah. But
yeah, torture, blah, 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 torture, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, you're just such a fucking brilliant human being.
Your job is to save it. You add nothing. But you have now changed because you've agreed with me that this whole sameness business is a facade.
I don't understand. I don't agree with you at all. And now you're saying you agree that same matters, or you're saying same doesn't matter? I'm saying it's quite obvious that if you're going to, that's the definition of the word same only means something if you treat same things same. If you treat same things different, then the same things aren't the same.
I'm sure adds nothing because you've just said it's a bad is a bad. Location has nothing to do with it. That's it.
So, are any of you following along here at all? So, all of you liars who are defending this fucker, well, we know this fucking narc for the FBI or something, Quintuckaka. He's all proud, like he helped kill Saddam Hussein, apparently. And he's got some doctor friend who's, he's trying to make money off the war. Well, yeah, but he's, well, let's not even go into it, but, yeah, you watched Bureau's Room 2 weeks ago. Super narc. Alright, this guy, he's like a motorcycle accident victim or something. Retard. This guy, Rorschach, is a fucking compulsive liar. This guy is radioactive or something. Anyway, what a pile of fucking lying scum. So this self-mutilator guy who says, oh yeah, I'm a vegan and I'm an anti-natalist, and he's supporting Hythloday, who is neither of those things. Doesn't give a rat's ass about the beasties and couldn't care less about people imposing suffering. So, people who keep supporting this asshole are really starting to piss me off. Yeah, so fuck you. Pretty much fuck the anti-natalist community, in my opinion.
Let me tell you why you're here. You're here because you know something. What you know you can't...
What is, again, the argument from pop culture, movies.
Explain, but you feel it. You felt it your entire life.
Yes, right. So torture. We all need torture explained to us by Morpheus. We can't figure that one out for ourselves.
Demendum is oblivious to epistemological questions.
Oh, whatever. Yeah, right. And what's your epistemology here? The DNA molecule has got to be right. It's God. Yeah. Do whatever the DNA molecule says. We don't have any... We can't think any further than that. We can't do anything but do exactly what the molecule tells us.
Of what
Monkey man.
Constitutes knowledge, what constitutes facts, the difficulties.
Right, well, you haven't refuted anything I've stated as a fact at all. You haven't counter-argued or explained, here's the true theory. Nothing from you, fat fuck.
With establishing facts. And doesn't understand that when you know something...
No, you don't understand, that's clear. And you have articulated nothing as a counter-argument.
We can't explain it.
It's infinitely better that you suffer than me. Yeah, we can just play that clip over and over.
You can't give a factual truth statement about this consciousness, and it's just all your...
Well, I'm just saying, you either believe it exists or you don't. So that is true, okay? I mean, if you're insane and you wish to believe that it's all fucking somehow isn't what it appears to be, which is decidedly significant difference between the best feeling I can manifest and the worst feeling I can manifest. Now, you want to pretend they're all just zeros based on some theory that a mechanical device can't create anything that's actually valuable or meaningful because you say so, because that's your dogma, not because there's any reason to believe that. Fine. I'm just saying my personal experience with consciousness is, yeah, it's pretty damn convincing. I'm convinced. There's something happening and it means something. It's not meaningless. I do not wish to be tortured for eternity. I know that's not a good thing.
It's all your articulation of what you think it is.
Yeah, what I have experienced, and the only way I can interpret what I've experienced, and there's no fucking way I'm going to interpret what I've experienced to draw the conclusion that it doesn't matter whether you torture me forever. That would be nothing. Absolutely nothing. A non-event just took place. I was tortured forever. Non-event.
Yeah? Then that is an intuition. That is...
It's not an intuition. It's a fucking rational description of an experience. You're rational. You're claiming your counter-argument is that my experience of these decidedly different value sensations is a lie. Yet you still use Novocaine, yet you still drink alcohol, that you still do things to kill your own pain and to moderate against your own pain and suffering, and yet you will play this idiotic game and pretend you don't take aspirin and you don't do this because you know it's all the same thing. And yet you don't demonstrate any of that. No confidence in your own philosophy at all. And consistent with every other mammal on this fucking planet, yeah, I am impressed by suffering and pain, and I wish to avoid it, and I will do rather dramatic things to avoid it.
An arbitrary thing. It is is.
Yeah, oh, it's arbitrary. Yeah, all the mammals, all the other animals, they're just arbitrarily avoiding the negative sensations. Oh, sure they are.
Particular to you.
Right, particular to me and all the other sentient life on Earth.
And your statement are particular to a group of people who agree with you.
Yes, all the other sentient life on Earth except for the nihilist, insane fucknuts.
It's, by definition, subjective.
Says you again. You know, I mean, you could say it's by definition subjective. What it is by definition real. Consciousness is real. You can say it doesn't exist, you can play all these games, but the fact is it's really happening. And you're the one trying to pretend it's nothing. The something is nothing. It's right here, it's happening. To call it nothing is idiotic.
It has no qualitative test.
Yeah, right.
And it is,
says you. Beyond those who experience it saying, holy fucking shit, I can sure tell the difference between the best feeling I can manifest and the worst feeling I can manifest. And I sure as fuck can tell the difference is all about value.
it's true, and everything you state about it will be true according to your definition.
Yeah, well, I'm just saying that anyone who wants to prove me wrong, all they have to do is show me by torturing themselves. Go ahead, prove to me it doesn't matter. It's all nothing. It's all a neutral. Go ahead, torture yourself.
And so I must bow out and say adieu and
Good.
leave these thoughts.
Compulsive liar, compulsive liar, compulsive liar. So, well, I don't know what the hell you're going to make videos about, but again, if once you're such a slandering liar, I'm sure you'll say some slandering, lying things. So I'm sure we'll meet again, slandering liar.
To percolate in Mendon's minds and leave you other guys who understand.
Yeah, I like to percolate a big fat fart right in your fucking goddamn face, fucking liar.
The errors of his reasoning to...
Yes, no proof of any errors in reasoning, just the accusation, just the claim that he somehow has made an argument in here somewhere demonstrating that bad doesn't exist.
Continue to poke at him. I think there is movement in his mind. I think you can get through slowly.
Whatever. There's absolutely no whatever this movement thing is. I've been the most consistent person on fucking YouTube, you lying scum.
I think it's unfortunate. I with a slow mind, but knowing that...
Yeah, that's the only thing you got right. You've got a fucking chimpanzee's brain. And yeah, you probably should just swing in a tree and eat bananas, fuckface. And not bother doing any of this thinking thing, but you can't do it without lying. God damn, you're such a liar.
Slow mind. I'm able to pause and wait till
yeah, you have a mind with no integrity, okay? It's not that your mind is slow, it just has to spend so much time trying to figure out how I can contrive another defense of my lies. I have to keep lying to defend my lies. That's all you're doing, you fucking liar.
It's come to fruition till understanding comes to myself. And I watch somebody with a fast mind, like in Mendon, like a little child, like, I know this.
Oh, yes, right, whatever. Again, this is not an argument, another non-argument with non-evidence. There's no evidence that there was any questions asked that I answered too quickly. You haven't demonstrated where I've been wrong about anything ever, fucking flabby fucking ape man. You're just a fucking liar. You keep claiming something you can't prove. Liar.
I know this. before the teacher has even any chance of actual...
Yeah, like he thinks he's a teacher. Everybody you've ever met has hated you, right? I mean, you really don't have a friend in the world, right?
Boy presenting the question, the child over eagerly jumps in. This is Mandum and his...
Yeah, whatever. Again, please play the video where this is somehow analogous to something. No. I'll just play the part where you keep saying, I'll just keep saying the part where you go, it's infinitely better that somebody else suffer than me.
His high school education, which he didn't fare well at, by all accounts.
Yeah, and you're going to demonstrate that with what again? What's the evidence you have compiled of my failure to grasp what concept, fucking flabby fat ape man? Liar? Ape man? Where? Oh, that's right. No, I've always been right, and you're always wrong, asshole.
This is where he's limited to. It is his own self-education.
Yeah, and that's where you're limited to, is that you never figure out how to do anything, ever. You don't ever learn about anything, ever.
And he has a mind and an intelligence to achieve certain amount of work.
Whatever. And you don't, clearly.
But he won't be magnanimous or...
magnanimous to what? Someone who's lying, compulsive liar, slandering me? I'm supposed to be magnanimous? No, I'm supposed to say, hey, fuck you, get an argument. Alright? Fucking goddamn liar.
You can't not be arrogant in believing he actually knows everything.
Well, what I do know is that you're a fucking liar, and it's demonstrable and provable. I mean, every fucking argument that I've been making over the last 5 weeks, I'm only making because you, the stupid motherfucker, can't figure out that you're not better than everybody else. You can't figure out that bad actually has to be something other than a neutral to be called a bad thing. That bad things are not neutral things.
There's probably a Chinese proverb says, you know, the person, well, it's Socrates, isn't it? The one thing I know, he who's wisest or something is he who...
Oh, yeah, great, yeah, don't use your brain, yeah, just shut it off. That's what the wise man does, he just turns his brain off and doesn't bother. Yeah, that's being really smart. Sure it is.
He knows least, you know. Something like that.
Yeah, well, they didn't know much back then. Newsflash, asshole. We know a lot more now. Lots of facts have been collected. It's kind of game over.
I hope my insights and developments...
Your insights. What are your insights? You're better than everybody else. Your consciousness is real, creates real oughts. Everybody else's consciousness is fake and doesn't create real oughts. Oh, okay. Brilliant.
As I've pointed out and I've seen, are instructive to those who may follow in my footsteps.
Yeah, whatever. Skyzer. Yeah, a bunch of other liars and connivers and bullshitters and full of shitters. Yes. Right. Fucky Yui. Monkey Dewey.
Continue to poke holes in this philosophy.
Ah, there you go. Continue to, like you have done that. With what argument? The argument from, I don't see any ought. Yeah. Or the argument from, What's in it for me? Yeah, you're brilliant. Brilliant counter arguments. Despicable liar. Despicable liar. So anyway, the whole crew of them. Piro, Quinteca, all these lying scums. Lying scums. That's all they are, it's lying scum. Alright, so I guess that's all. I mean, it's not, you know, it's only 10 of them, so it's no big deal, but I mean, you know, I just really hate liars. Yeah, I really do.